watching the mainstream. I'm Simran Shiwalkar, your host for today. We are in Delhi witnessing the latest edition of Emerge Tech, the multi-city roadshow brought to you by the mainstream. I have with me a true visionary in the tech space, Mr. Krishnamurthy Rajesh. Well, Mr. Rajesh, firstly, thank you so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
Absolutely. Well, my first question to you is, what are some of the emerging key trends that you have observed when we talk about technologies today like AI, quantum, as well as cybersecurity?
So now when you talk about the emerging technology is directly linked to the response time and the compute, right? So, or having an analysis of set of data to drive an information out, right? And all this technology, what you named right now, be it AI, be it a quantum, is helping to do that, right? When you talk about AI, what is AI? AI is nothing but it's another way by which it does a lot of analysis and it gives you an output based on certain set of information which has been either fed or which it can learn on itself, maybe in terms of machine learning or whatever it is, right? So that is one part. Second part is also now that is getting clubbed along with the quantum computing. The quantum computing, when you talk about the basics between a quantum and non-quantum, is in the non-quantum computing happens in a binary, 0 and 1. But in a quantum, what happens is it is 0 or 1. The second stage of that is 0 and 1, which is something like a non-conformative state. So because of that, the compute power gets increased, right, in a quantum. So the activity what otherwise you need to do it with a small computer or normal computer, same activity you can do it with a high degree of precision with a lesser time in terms of quantum, right? So there are a lot of things, advancement is happening in quantum also, and quantum is also, it's just started and it has to go a long way, right? So when you talk about from that angle, linking AI to quantum is actually helping you to come out with a meaningful output. Now, what remains is whenever you have a data, whenever you have a repository, you also need to ensure for the safety and security of that particular information, and that is something that is cybersecurity.
Correct.
So cybersecurity is another mean by which you are protecting the set of information, set of data by greater extent, because cybersecurity, no one can give a 100% guarantee that no breach will happen.
Right.
But what one needs to be mindful of is, in case if something happens, what is the resiliency or how fast you can bounce back or control the damage is what it talks about. Now the technology, be it AI and quantum, is also getting used for in a both ways, in a positive way and a negative way from a cybersecurity angle also. So it's a two-sword sort of scenario where it's up to you how you use it. If you use it in a positive way, it goes in a positive way. If you use it in a negative, it goes into negative way. So it's a trade-off between a positive and negative.
Correct. Well put. And well, thank you so much for providing your comprehensive view on this. Lastly, how do conferences like Emerge Tech, which is kind of a roadshow which is taking place in a lot of cities, India and internationally, how do you think these conferences are shaping up on a conversation or a dialogue on emerging trends, the challenges and the opportunities as well?
Okay, so it's a very good question, and I'll just take a step back and I'll give an example of your question. From there is a third state of quantum which is known as the interference. The quantum works on a wave, so it if two wave interacts in an opposite way, then it negates. But if both of them are interacting the same way, it compensates each other.
Correct.
Similarly, when you talk about these conferences are nothing but where you get a lot of delegates or people coming on with a different mindset, different industry, different knowledge. It actually helps to build a community, because in a day-to-day way, what happens is we just think that 9-to-5 job is fine and what I'm doing is what I'm doing. I always say one word: the more you read, the more you learn, the better position you are in. Even though you don't use the data, but you should at least have a lot of information and use the information when the right time comes up. And always have a terminology called "do I know" rather than saying "I know." Because that's what I always believe. And whenever I come to such conferences, I always try to create some sort of peers or network where I try to go one step beyond and ask some questions for which probably I may have an answer, but I always try to ratify the answers, thinking the answers which I know may not be correct because the technologies are changing so fast. And that is what is actually helping one to be one step ahead of the curve.
Absolutely. I think we all can agree with that. And firstly, thank you so much for providing your incredible insights and also being so candid at the same time. Mr. Rajesh, while we wrap up, I certainly look forward to connect with you again.
My pleasure.
Thanks.
Thank you.